Oh, we are live. Okay, so last time when I was here, we took that quiz and passed with flying colors. And now we're going to move on to the next session, the box model in Dev Tools. So what is this section going to be about? It's reading. Reading. So, do you want me to read for you? Let me know. Type it in the chat, comment, make a comment, and I'll view it next time. So they're telling us how to open the inspection element, and if you were watching last time, you would have been able to see how I did that in my previous videos. And going on to next page. Oh, there's also a video. Shame I didn't work on Monday. Anyways.
Hi everyone, my name is Alexis, and I'm a New York-based web developer. In this video, we'll be doing modifying the HTML elements box model with Chrome DevTools. Learn how to use Chrome DevTools to inspect box models of HTML elements and change the way the element sizes are calculated. Please note that in this video, we're using the latest stable version of the Chrome browser. This means that other versions of Chrome may look differently or not have the same features. And if you're new to DevTools, you also might want to visit the intro to the DevTools video before watching this. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to the box model in Chrome DevTools metrics pane and computed styles tab. By the end of this video, you should know how to access these Chrome DevTools panes and tabs, use DevTools to view elements box model properties, and alter an element's box model via the DOM for document object model. Next, let's review the box model. Some of you may already be familiar with what the box model is. If you feel comfortable with this concept, feel free to skip ahead to the next part of the video where we'll learn to use Chrome DevTools to view an element's box model. Let's review what the box model is. The box model is not a thing that exists somewhere in the DOM or in your HTML document. The box model is a way of describing how different CSS properties and content work together to help create an HTML element so that we can explain what we see when we visit a website. When we look at a website, it's natural to think of it in terms of content and things that are visible to our eye. The text, images, video, and other things in the format. That's not how the browser sees the website or the elements that make it up. Every HTML element is considered to be a rectangular box by the browser, and this is true even if what we can see on a website doesn't look like a rectangle. Each box is made of several parts nested inside each other. Content, padding, border, and margin. This means that each HTML element you have on a website is made up of content, padding, border, and margin too. You may sometimes hear the innermost box also called the content container because it holds all the content of the HTML element. The last three parts of the box model are CSS properties. If you need a refresher on the various CSS properties here in the difference, go to the box model lesson. Make note of the order that these concentric boxes are in. They'll always be in this order. They'll also always be present for each HTML element, even if you don't declare them. It's just a fancy way of saying that we code somewhere or give them values. More on all this later in the video. Now that we know what the box model is there a way to see the hidden structure of HTML elements the way the browser does? Yes, there is. Normally, we aren't able to see an HTML element's box model in its various parts when we're just browsing a website. But Chrome DevTools has a feature that allows us to take a peek at this. View the box model of HTML elements, open up Chrome browser, and navigate to the website you want to. This can be a project under a computer or a website on the internet. Here, we'll take a look at the code website from DevTools. We first need to open the Elements tab in Chrome DevTools, which has the styles pane. We can use a shortcut or combination of keys to open Chrome DevTools. Or you can right-click on your mouse and choose Inspect from the menu. If you haven't already tried doing this on your own, pause the video here and practice opening the Chrome DevTools Elements tab and viewing the Styles tab. Continue watching once you can do so. Now let's check out what Chrome DevTools can tell us about an HTML elements box model. Chrome DevTools has a specific pane within both the Styles and Computer tabs and the Elements panel that we just opened. And their DevTools reveals the HTML elements box model to us and it's called the metrics pane. Let's pick an element on the Code Academy website to inspect and view the box model. To see the box model of an element, we can either use the select element icon in the Elements panel, right-click on the element we want to learn more about and choose Inspect, or click on the HTML in Chrome DevTools. Once we do that, we click on the Computer tab. One quick tip here, although it's also displayed in the Styles tab, it's easier to view the metrics pane by clicking on the Computer tab. This tab is also called Computed because the browser has to run calculations as to how and what styling to apply to determine various values in position flow. It should show us all the CSS styles being applied to a specific element and also where each CSS declaration is coming from, which is source of the style. This is very helpful to know when we're developing a website and we're dealing with pages such as this and cascading. Inside of the Computer tab, we're presented with the metrics pane, which shows us a color-coded diagram of specificity and cascading.
Whoa.
Inside of the Computer tab, we're presented with the metrics pane, which shows us a color-coded diagram of the HTML element we expect. From the diagram, we can see not just the dimensions of the element, but also how the browser came up with it. This diagram gives us the dimensions of each of the parts that make up the HTML element's box model, the margin, the border, padding, content. This is true even if the values that are used to declare the various properties of an element's box model are not in pixels. Looking at this element here, this is a good example of this. It uses rems and not pixels. We can see that in the source code here in this tab, but when we actually look at the box model, the dimensions are given and converted into pixels. Lastly, a nice feature of this metrics pane is that once you've selected an element to inspect, you can also hover over parts of the box model, and it will highlight those parts of the element on the website itself. Let's take a closer look at some of the values in the diagram. Did you notice that some of the properties of the box model have no value? No value is assigned to the element's properties, or it's undeclared. The result is a dash in the metrics pane. In this example, we can see we don't have any values assigned for margin, top, left, or right. If we don't give a value to one of these properties themselves, say as a CSS declaration in the style sheet, it will either be 0 and we'll see a dash, or the browser might assign a value. This is in contrast to the content, border, padding, and margin bottom that do have values listed in pixels. One final tip here to do the box model of elements. You can see the box model of one element in great detail in DevTools. If you want to see the boxes of all the elements relative to one another, you can add a colored border around all the elements using the already open styles pane and CSS rule. To do that, I will go into the Styles tab, and I will select HTML in my HTML doc. I'll use the plus sign for a new CSS rule, get rid of the HTML selector, and use the asterisk to apply to all elements, and add the rule border of 1 pixel solid red bang, and that will add that red border to all the elements. So it's helpful to see where they are relative to one another. Although this only lets us see the border of each element and not each of the various box properties, it can be helpful to get an easy view of a website and its layout, and then use the DevTools section pane to get more detailed information about a specific element. If you've never modified the styles on the website you're inspecting, I would check out the previous video and use DevTools for more explanation. So far so good. We've given our HTML element an X-ray, and we can see its box model that's hidden. And we know from the name of the tab, the styles tab, the browser, which brings up another question. How are the dimensions of the box determined? There's only two dimensions the browser needs to figure out for box size. That is until we get real, and that's width and height. And the formulas I'll show you here will show you the calculations that the browser needs to do to figure out the size of the box for an HTML element, so you can render it and paint it in your browser window. To calculate the width of an HTML element's box, we calculate the sum of content width, padding left and right, and finally border left and border right. And then we arrive at the total width of an HTML element's box. To find the height of the box, we calculate the sum of the content height, padding top and padding bottom, and lastly border top and border bottom to get the full height of the box. If we look closely at these formulas, we'll see that one of the properties I mentioned earlier in reference to the box model is missing. Margin. Can you think of why that might be? It's because margin generates space only around the outside of the HTML element's box and not inside of it. So margin has no effect on how big or small an HTML element's box is. It'll just change how near or far other HTML boxes around it are. Let's take a look at this example from Mozilla Developer Networks that I really like. We see how adding padding and border will affect the size of an element's box. We have two elements here, one nested inside the other. We'll add padding and border to the inner box. Notice how changing the size of the padding and border of the HTML element will grow or shrink its box, and the overall appearance of the element, but it won't change the size of the content. This is because the browser's default display mode for HTML elements boxes is to set every element's box sizing property to content box. In this mode, the browser calculates the size of the element's boxes by figuring out the width and height of the content first. If we need to add padding or border, however wide or high those properties are, they then get added to the width and height of the content.
Okay.
So this means that sometimes the box and appearance of an HTML element is wider or higher than we intend or expect it to be, because the width and height here only mean the width and height of the side of the HTML element, which is one part of the box, not the total sum of all the parts of the box. This isn't ideal because when we start to add padding and border to our elements, they grow bigger or smaller than we expect. It becomes harder to figure out what the width and height of the element should be when we add more styling. Our layouts starts to fall apart as the element should grow, just like in the example of the box where larger and transparent container element that I showed you. How can we fix this? One thing we could do is to try to figure out values of padding border and width and content that would make the box sit inside the parent element. For those of you that want to try your hand at solving this problem by changing the width, border, and padding, you can go to this link there and change the code for any of these properties as long as it has a box size and property of content box. So hopefully if you try this out on your own, you're going to see why this is a problem. If you try and change the padding here, you can also have to try and change the border, and that involves a lot of guessing. You may have also tried to change the width of the content to make it fit inside the parent container. You can see that also with previous and also involved a lot of guessing. Even worse, what if we had many boxes and not just one box nested like this that we had to fix? There is an easier way that not only allows us not to have to figure out all the values needed for every single element, and that's simply changing the way the box's size is calculated. In this example, you can see that we've set a new rule. We've applied box sizing border box. This changes the way the browser calculates the size of the box to count padding and border. Instead of applying width and height only to the content, with this new rule, width and height of an element's box is calculated to include padding and border. So if we make padding border bigger, then the browser will make the content grow or shrink to accommodate the padding border. This makes it much easier to position elements to figure out the layout of the website, since our HTML elements now act more predictably. So we can override the style rules that the browser applies, or what's often called the user agent applies, to websites by writing new rules. You could add the rule that I just showed you to your style sheet. Usually CSS rules that override default browser styling are put in a separate style sheet called a reset style sheet. Here's an example of a reset style sheet that you could use. That's reset because when we override the browser CSS, we're set to be resetting the CSS to whatever we want it to. It's considered a good practice to reset the browser styling and in particular to change the box sizing property to border box. It'll make your life as a developer much easier. Okay, let's wrap up. So using Chrome DevTools allows us to see the hidden makeup of HTML elements, which helps us better understand how our elements are created and why our layout behaves the way it does. Some takeaways here: all HTML elements are rectangular boxes to the browser. You can use DevTools to view and modify elements boxes. The browser determines the size of the box unless we override it. We should reset the box model because it makes it easier for us as developers. I hope that you either learned something new or that this helped you reinforce what you already know. Let us know if you found this helpful by liking this video. Thanks for watching and happy coding.
Wow, talk about good practice. I'm going to start needing to do that. And where is no? All right. Let's move on to the next part. Another recommended reading. Let me copy and paste this book for you so you can get it on your own. Search for the book through that title. Now we get to finally work on a project. Should I start this as another stream? No, let's work on it now. Davy's Burger. Alright. The box model, Davy's Burgers. In this project, you will follow step-by-step instructions to fix a fictional restaurant's website. All the HTML and most of the CSS is intact, but the box model properties have yet to be set. You'll use knowledge of height, width, padding, border, and margin to complete this project. The website's existing index.html and style.css files are displayed in the text editor to the right. As you work, use both to see which elements you are selecting and styling. Most of the elements that you will need to add styles for already have rules set in style.css to which you can add additional declarations. If you get stuck during this project or would like to see an experienced developer work through it, click Get Unstuck to see a project walkthrough video. So the first step, we'll go through Davy's Burgers menu item, roughly from top to bottom. You'll go through Davy's Burger menu item roughly from top to bottom. Let's begin with styling the nav element containing the logo and navigation elements. Set the width of the image to 180 pixels. Oh, the styling is really bad. I just noticed. Oh, this needs work. Okay. So we'll go through the Davy's Burgers menu item roughly from top to bottom. Let's begin with the nav. The nav is right here. Starts right there, ends right there. So set the width of the image. That's enough. Needs a lot of work. To 180 pixels. So I'm going to use my knowledge of width and change it to 180 pixels. Now let's see. What does it look like? Whoa, what happened? Something happened. I don't know what happened, but this thing looks smaller. Anyways, did we do that? No. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I see what we did. So we changed the width of the image. Then this is the image, so that turned smaller, I guess. And I guess before it was much more than 180 pixels. And we also want to change the margin property by adding this thing, because that is how we center something. By adding auto as the second value that controls both the left and right margins. Then there we go, it's centered. Set margin of span elements inside the nav to 10 pixels on the top and bottom, and 0 pixels on the left, right, on the span element, on the span tag, inside the nav. Oh, okay, so they're talking about this one. And they want the margin to be 10 pixels on the top and bottom, 0 on the left and right. So the span, what is the span? They spaced it out. They added some margining on top and bottom. Cool. Cool. Set margins of span elements inside the nav to 10 pixels on. Oh, we did this. Let me mark that off. Now, set some rules for the element with the class content. The element is a container for all the elements not included in the nav. Set the height to 500 pixels. Create what the content, I think they're talking about this thing. Create a 10 pixel vertical margin and an automatic horizontal margin. So right now we see the content is not centered at all, but we are going to center it. Wait a minute, it says they want to set the body elements. Is there like a content body? Okay. Oh wait, but that's the third piece. We're still on the second piece of instructions where we have to create a margin of 10 pixel vertical margin and automatic horizontal margin. And then we set the body element inside of the dot content class. Oh, it didn't center at all. To have no vertical margin. So that's 0 on top and bottom, and automatic horizontal margin so that it's centered. It's still not very centered. But I think I did that. With a 500 pixel height for that content, some elements will overflow out of its box if the browser window is made too small. With the 500 pixel height for that content, some elements will overflow out of its box if the browser window is made too small. Make that content scrollable with the overflow property. Make that content scrollable with the overflow property. Okay. With a 500 pixel height for dot content. Were we supposed to set a height to 500 pixels? I did that right here, right? And it looks like there's enough space for it. What they're saying, the elements will overflow out of the box if the browser window is too small. If the browser window is too small, let's look at that. Let's see what happens. No, it's fine. It looks fine to me. It looks fine to me. Well, resize the browser window so it is very skinny, and notice that this section is now scrollable. Resize the browser window so it is very skinny And notice that this section is now scrollable. Okay, so let's just add this overflow property to dot content to make it scrollable. It's fine to me, to be honest. Anyways, let's move on. Now it's time to tackle the dot header and its h1 text BBQ Bacon Burger. Set the height of the header class to 320 pixels. So over here. Create a 20 pixel padding for the h1 element inside the header. Create a 20 pixel padding for the h1 element inside the dot header. Inside the dot header. So we want some kind of padding with what? 20 pixels? Set the vertical margins to 0 pixels and the horizontal margins to be determined automatically for the same h1 element. Okay, so, not the height, we want to add the margin that has a 0 pixels. And what? Horizontal margins to be determined automatically. Okay, so just say auto. Is that what it's supposed to look like? Now add some box model formatting to the order now dot button element. There's a dot button element somewhere. Oh, here it is. Wow. Okay, as you make each change, make sure to scroll down if necessary to view the effect on the button. As you make each change, make sure to scroll down if necessary to view the effect on the button. As you make each change, make sure to scroll down if necessary to view the effect on the button. Set the width to 200 pixels. The dot button. Okay. A width of 200 pixels. I spelled that wrong. That's why it's not lighting up aqua. Padding to 20 pixels. Set the vertical margin to 40 pixels. And horizontal margins to automatic, and give the button a 1 pixel solid blue border. Starting to look really good. That looks good. That looks really good. Anyways, to declare a border in one line, set the width. Oh, I was supposed to make it 1 pixel solid and blue. Let's see what it looks like now. Now let me see what aqua, because I don't know if I said the correct color. Yeah, I think that's the same color as what the properties are lighting up as okay. So finally, style the nutrition facts section at the bottom. In the element section, selected with UL nutrition, see the padding of the UL.nutrition element to 20 pixels. Set the padding of the UL.nutrition element to 20 pixels. Set the width of the LI elements within the UL nutrition to 200 pixels. And then set a 10 pixel vertical padding and 20 pixel horizontal padding to the same elements. So do we want that on the same thing or just this one? 10 pixel vertical, 20 pixel horizontal. Oops. Add a 3 pixel bottom margin to the same element. Just the bottom. So I guess we can specify the margin bottom to 3 pixels, to be set at 3 pixels with the appropriate size suffix. And that's exactly what I did. Alright. Now we can see the line spaces of 3 pixels and it looks very much delineated, nice and delineated. Good job. This menu item is looking great and the layout and spacing is much more readable. If you like, you can continue refining the design or add your own spin. Wow, this looks really good. No wonder they said they need a scroll because we were going to make this thing really big. Okay. Alright, and I think that is it. Now I can watch. Let's see if we did this correct.
Hey there, and write essays that inspire. Messages. Hey there, and welcome to Good Academy. My name is Galina, and I'm a developer from New York. Today we'll be covering the box model Dave's Burgers freeform project, part of the Learn CSS course. Now before we get started, let's take a look at some of the concepts we'll be working with today. To complete this project, you'll be familiar with the following CSS box model properties: height, width, padding border, margin, and overflow. In this project, you will follow step-by-step instructions to fix the fictional restaurants. All of the HTML and most of the CSS is intact, but the box model properties have yet to be set. You'll use knowledge of height, width, padding border, and margin to complete this project. The website's existing index.html and style.css files are displayed in the text editor to the right. Here they are. As you work, use both to see which elements you're selecting and styling. Most of the elements that you'll need to add files for already have full sets in style.css, to which you can add additional declarations. Alright, now let's get started with number 1. We'll go through Dave's Burgers menu item roughly from top to bottom. Let's begin with styling the nav element containing the logo and navigation components. So we are going to be styling this portion of our page. Let's set the width of the image to 180 pixels. So let's navigate to our CSS file, locate our nav CSS selector, and here it is. Specifically for the image, we're going to set the width to 180 pixels. Right? And now we want to center the image horizontally using the margin property. So in the following lines, let's add the margin property. We'll first set the top and bottom to 0, and then to center horizontally, we're going to use auto. Let's save and take a look for the changes in the browser. Perfect. Our image is now centered horizontally and has a width of 180 pixels. Let's check off step 1 and let's set margin of span element inside the nav to 10 pixels on the top and bottom and 0 pixels on the left and right. Let's locate CSS selector for that. And here it is. And let's set the top and bottom of our margin to 10 pixels and 0 for the left and right. So let's navigate back to our HTML file and locate our span elements, and they are the menu, nutrition, order, and locations elements that we see on the page. Now let's hit save and observe changes in the browser. Perfect, so we've added spacing to the top and bottom of each element. Now let's check off step 2 and go on to step 3. Now set some rules for the element with the class content. Here we have our class content. This element is a container for all the elements not included in the nav. So we see it includes the header right here, as well as the body that we see over here, and followed by the button and nutrition information. Let's navigate back to our CSS file, locate that selector. and it is on line 40. And we want to set the height to 500 pixels. So let's use the height property as well as 500 pixels. Now let's save. And now create 10 pixel vertical margins and automatic horizontal margins. So let's use margin property. Set 10 pixels for vertical and auto for automatic horizontal margins. Let's hit save. And now let's set the body elements inside content to have no vertical margin and automatic horizontal margin so that it is centered. Let's locate our body elements inside content. Here they are. And set the margin to 0 pixels and auto. Now let's hit save and take a look at all the changes that we made. So now we can see that we added 10 pixel vertical margins and we centered our content and set the height to 500 pixels. Check out step 3 and watch step 4. With the 500 pixel height content, some elements will overflow out of its box when the browser window is made too small. Make content scrollable with the overflow property. So content, we want to have scroll. We're going to use overflow, scroll. Let's hit save, and now we want to resize the browser window so it's very skinny, and notice that the section is now scrollable. So let's resize our window, and we should see a little scroll pop up to the right. And here it is. Great. Let's move this back. Check out step 4 and watch step 5. Now it's time to tackle the header and its equal text barbecue bacon burger. So the height of the header class is 320 pixels. Let's locate our header class element and set its height 320 pixels. Let's save and observe the changes to the right. So we've increased our header size significantly to 320 pixels. We can now see in the picture clearly. Now our H1 stays the same. Now we want to create a 20 pixel padding for each one element inside the header. That would be on line 56. So let's add a padding property followed by 20 pixels. Let's save. And we can see the space that we've added between the content and the border. And the text no longer feels cramped. Now we want to set vertical margins to 0 pixels and the horizontal margins to be determined automatically from the same H1 element. So working in the same selector, we're going to set the vertical margin to 0. That's 0 pixels. And the horizontal margin is to be determined automatically. So we're going to use auto. Let's save and take a look at our centered H1 in the browser. Perfect. Let's check out step 5 and now add some box model formatting to the order now by color. So the button element, locate that in our HTML. And here it is on line 41. Now let's take a look at where that is in our browser. And here it is, right between the paragraph and the nutrition information. So we want to set the width to 200. And as you make each change, make sure to scroll down if necessary to see the effects on the button. So let's navigate back to our CSS file, locate our button element. And here it is on line 85. And we're going to set the width to 200 px. Let's save. We notice that the order now has shifted to the left a bit, and we want to set the padding to 20 pixels. So working in the same CSS selector for our button element, we're going to set the padding to 20 pixels. Save. We can hover over our button and notice the additional space that's been added around the text. Now we want to set the vertical margins to 40 pixels and the horizontal margins to automatic. So let's add the margin property and set vertical margins to 40 px and horizontal margins to automatic. Let's save, and we should now see our button centered. Perfect. Here it is. And we can also see some additional spacing that we've added outside of the element. And lastly, we want to give the button a 1 pixel solid blue border. So we're going to use the border property, and it will be 1 pixel solid in the color blue. Let's save, observe the changes to the right, and here we can see our border. Great, now let's check off step 6 and go on step 7. Finally, style the nutrition fact section at the bottom. And the element selected is L.nutrition. Let's locate that. Here it is on line 4. We're going to set the padding on the nutrition element to 20 pixels. Let's scroll down in our page and locate where that is. So we're going to style this section of our website. So let's set the padding to 20 pixels. Then set the width of the line elements within the L.nutrition to 200 pixels. So we're going to be setting the width of each individual list item to 200 pixels. That would be on line 112, width 200 pixels. Let's save and take a look. Now each element's width has increased to 20 pixels, 200 pixels. Let's increase the size of our browser window to observe the change. Right, and now the next bullet point asks us to set a 10 pixel vertical padding and 20 pixel horizontal padding for the same elements. Let's set the padding property to have 10 pixel vertical padding and 20 pixel horizontal padding. Save. And now let's add a 3 pixel bottom margin to the same elements. So this should create some spacing between the elements. Margin 3 px. Oh, and because this is bottom, we do have to specify that. So margin dash bottom 3 pixels. Let's scroll down. And we can now clearly see the individual elements here. Perfect. Now let's check off step 7 and go on to step 8. Good job. The menu items looking great, and the layout and spacing is much more beautiful. If you like, you can continue refining design or add your own spin. Congratulations, we've come to an end to our project. And as step suggests, of course, feel free to continue modifying this item in any way that you like. I hope this walkthrough was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Happy coding.
Alright, so I notice
margins at 0.
That their title doesn't take up the whole space, so I must have done something wrong. Let me see how you did that.
Context, barbecue bacon burger. So the height of the, let's hit save, and now we want to resize the browser window so it's very skinny, and notice that this is so content, we want to have scroll. We're going to use overflow, scroll. Let's some elements will overflow. Let's hit save. Let's locate our body elements inside content for vertical and auto for automatic horizontal mark.
Alright, let's see. What did I do wrong? The content container. Let me see.
Margins. Let's hit save. And now let's set the body elements inside content to have no vertical margin and automatic horizontal margin so that it is centered. Let's locate our body elements inside content. Here they are. And set the margin to 0 pixels and auto. Now let's hit save and take a look at all of the changes that were made. So now we can see that we added 10 pixel vertical margins and we've centered our content and set the height to 500 pixels. Check off the 3 and 1 step. With a 500 pixel height, content some elements will overflow out of its box if the browser window is made too small. Make content scrollable with the overflow property. So content, we want to have scrollable. We're going to use overflow. Scroll.
Nope, still takes up
Let's
the
save
whole
and
thing.
Now we want to resize the browser window so it's very skinny and notice that the section is now scrollable. So let's resize our window. And we should see a little scroll pop up to the right. And here it is. Great. Smooth this back. Check off step 4 and 1 step 5. Now it's time to tackle the header and its context barbecue maker. So the height of the header class is 320 pixels. Let's locate our header class element and set its height 320 pixels. Let's save and observe the changes to the right. So we've increased our header size significantly to 320 pixels. We can now see the picture clearly. Now our H1 stays the same. Now we want to create a 20 pixel padding for the H1 element inside the header. That would be on line 56. So let's add a padding property.
Oh, this thing should be here.
Save. And we can see the space that we've added between the content and the word. And the text no longer feels pronounced. Now we want to set vertical margins to 0 pixels and the horizontal margins to be determined automatically for the same H1 element. So working in the same selector, we're going to set vertical margins to 0.
It
That's 0
worked.
pixels and the horizontal margins to be determined automatically. So we're going to use auto. Let's save. Let's take a look at our centered H1.
It looks just like theirs. That's the only difference I see now. Alright, so that's it for this stream. Thanks for riding with me. Hope you learned something. See you in the next stream.